One high school is closing through at least the end of the month.
It's difficult to teach with a mask.
Now, later today, the CDC is expected to announce new guidelines for safely reopening schools.
More than 1,000 students now forced to stay home.
What was it like being a teacher during the pandemic?
Terrible.
It was stressful.
It was very hard teaching.
Terrible, but I also know at the end of this, if you talk to me in another year, I'm going to be grateful that we've had to go through it. Trying to do things that we've done for the past several years, just impossible for us to teach how we have in the past. So it was extremely difficult and is still extremely difficult, but I know the work that we're putting into it and how we can still communicate with students whenever they're not right in front of us. I know that's going to help with communication whenever they are here full time. So right now it's really bad, but I'm sure in a year I'll be happy that we got through it.
So it was really tough. It's something I never want to do again. It was definitely the biggest challenge that I've had so far being a teacher. It was just way too tough trying to get these students to pay attention while they were laying in bed, half of them. A lot of them were dealing with their own siblings, and parents weren't home to help them, and it was just kind of like, it was very hectic.
We were going into a period of unknowns. Of course, we were very out of our element as far as teaching those students that weren't in front of us.
Do you think in the future we will be able to figure out how to properly teach students remotely or like in a safer way?
As far as remote learning, I don't think it's for everybody, so I think that's one thing that we learned from the experience. And the other thing is that not every student can learn that way. So I think that we have a new appreciation for in the classroom. However, there is a need sometimes for cyber learning and things, and sometimes some students learn in different, so the independent learning is a good thing for them. But we did also find out that some students' independent learning was not a good thing for them.
I think that we will refine the techniques that we have used throughout this thing. I mean, just looking at the different technologies that are coming out of it and how we're able to communicate, I think that is going to go a long way. Unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to be one of those things where we can 100% hit all of the students, just because we know everybody learns differently. Trying to set something up virtually, some kids just aren't going to pick up that way. So hopefully we can get by that.
I mean, I feel like that doesn't really have a lot to do, I mean, it does have a lot to do with teachers themselves, but a lot of it has to do with the home life. So I believe that the ones that had the proper home life and the support there, it was done well. As a teacher, I was most worried about my seniors especially not getting all the material and education that they needed while going through my program. There was a lot of stuff that they missed out on, and I was really sad for them as well too, because you get really close with them. And I was really sad that they missed out on a lot their senior year. Personal wise, I guess I was just more afraid of like family members, especially the older ones, like my parents getting sick.
What were you worried about the most during the pandemic?
My students' families, just getting to know the students that I have and knowing them on a personal level. Whenever it all hit, there was TJ's grandmother that I was thinking about. There was Jordan's grandmother that I was thinking about. There was Michael's mother who has health issues that I was told about. And whenever this all happened and we're starting to see the people that are in danger, not only worrying about my family, but thinking about everybody in my class, what they must be going through and trying to deal with, that was pretty difficult. And then just, I mean, I guess worried of what is it going to look like whenever it's finally gone. And I mean, I guess that's still some of the panic that I have going on.
What I was worried about the most was whether I given enough schoolwork or not enough. Looking back, I think we lowered the bar, and as I talked to other teachers and instructors, I think they were in the same boat where we lowered the bar. We didn't cover as much as we would normally in a classroom setting throughout the year. And also, I was afraid of my students learning some bad habits, which coming back to full in-class learning right now, I can just tell right now that they're not up to their habits as far as being a good student. In other words, they learned a lot of bad habits. So I don't think they're studying as well, or they're taking their studies seriously.